now to that controversy over the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking investigation. As ABC's Andrew Dimbert reports, President Donald Trump says he's ready to move on, but some are asking questions about an alleged Epstein client list that the Justice Department now says does not exist.
The Trump administration pushing back against calls to fire Attorney General Pam Bondi over her handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years.
A Justice Department report this week revealed the accused sex trafficker did not keep a secret so-called client list, seemingly contradicting Bondi's statement earlier this year that she had Epstein's list in her office.
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Bondi now clarifying that statement, saying she was taken out of context.
My response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well.
The Justice Department report also confirming Epstein died by suicide. Investigators saying the conclusion that Epstein died by suicide is further supported by video footage from where Epstein was housed. But some critics raising questions about that footage, pointing to a jump in the timestamp from 11:58:59 to midnight. Bondi, when asked about the missing minute, said the videotape glitch happens every night and is not a sign of tampering. Still, some Trump loyalists not happy with these explanations.
The only other explanation that I can think of, again, maybe you've got another, is that intel services are at the very center of this story.
Elon Musk also critical, posting, "How can people be expected to have faith in Trump if he won't release the Epstein files?" President Trump yesterday dismissing the speculation.
We have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
Elon Musk, during a previous feud with Trump, claimed the president was listed in the Epstein files, but Musk later deleted that post. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
All right. Good morning. Peace and blessings, everybody. It's your boy, Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. Hope you're having a great Thursday, or whatever day you may catch this another day. But as you can see, there's a little rift going on with Trump's administration. You feel me? And as the title says, Trouble in Paradise, mega movement split in two, Epstein Files. Yeah, so Donald Trump ran on the campaign that part of his campaign is that he would release the files of a lot of high-profile cases, including alleged child predator Jeffrey Epstein. We all know about that, and his girl Maxwell and all of that. Me personally, I don't care about none of that. I voted for Donald Trump for the economy, to secure the border, and to get illegal immigration under control. A lot of this other stuff I really didn't care about, but it ain't about me right now. The mega movement was a new phenomenon that was rebirthed from his first administration, and now it seems that the movement is split in two because a lot of people that voted for Donald Trump really actually did care about the Jeffrey Epstein files. And the reason why they cared about the files, I had to understand, it goes a little deeper than just, him being accused of doing things with minors. I don't know if I can say that on here. Making tapes with minors that were inappropriate, to say the least, on his island. Jeffrey Epstein was incarcerated. They said that he unalived himself. You can't get me to believe that, but hey, that's what they say. And I think he back on his island somewhere, my personal opinion. But people were really inquisitive about this Jeffrey Epstein case because it was supposed to reveal a lot of big name politicians, a lot of crooked people in government that are making policies. Because when you think about a lot of the lawmakers that may have been on the island doing inappropriate things, it may be a lot of people in Congress, maybe a lot of governors, maybe a lot of mayors, maybe a lot of people that formulate these laws. See, when Donald Trump said he was going to drain the swamp, he was going to eliminate the deep state. This Jeffrey Epstein case it symbolizes a lot of that. It symbolizes to a lot of people the deep state, the people that need to be revealed, because this may be the only way that they can be, if they get exposed, this may be the only way they can be removed. Now, I will say this, the biggest mistake that Donald Trump, and this is the biggest fumble of the Trump administration so far, they shouldn't have never said nothing about no Jeffrey Epstein. They shouldn't have never even put it out there. If you was gonna do something like this, you should have did it behind the scenes. So Trump, you got to take an L for even putting this information out there. You know what I'm saying? Like on some real time. Like we gonna hold equal smoke, because as you seen on that clip, when he was asked about it, he tried to deflect. Nah, you ran on the campaign saying you gonna release these files. You know, these people in MAGA supported you because you said you was gonna release these files. Now, all of a sudden they don't exist. That don't look good, to say the least. And a lot of people are withdrawing their support from Donald Trump, right? But that's what they say right now, you know? So, hey, I would say this. If you don't got it, bro, just say you don't got it. To get, you know, egotistical and deflect and all that, man, people ain't gonna resonate with that. You supposed to be the most transparent president of our time. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I'm not gonna stop rocking with Trump because of this situation. I never cared. You never heard me talk about it on here. You know, I was chopping it up with my sis Mika. She been very busy. She been bouncing in and out of town. She got the family. So soon as we get a chance, we're gonna do a live about this situation. But with that being said, a lot of people with midterms around the corner are saying that Trump is going to lose a lot of support. A lot of people in MAGA are saying that they are not going to vote no more. They feel like the Trump administration is compromised. And Attorney General Pam Bondi is under fire. A lot of people calling for her to be resigned. I don't think so. She's done a lot of other great things. I mean, the Trump administration has been causing ceasefires across the planet, causing peace. They secured the border. They stopped some wars. They working on stopping other wars across the planet. You know what I'm saying? They get this economy under control. The big beautiful bill just passed, and it seemed like Trump been in office for already been 3 years. So much has happened in the past 5. The man only been in office 5 months. Let's keep that in mind. So, man, stay on the right side of things. If I give Trump any advice, and just be transparent about the situation as possible. But also, there's a lot of, if this list actually, because we don't even know if this list, if they have obtained the list, but if they do, keep in mind that these are a lot of powerful people. You got allegations that it got leaders from different governments like Israel that may have been over there with Jeffrey Epstein. You got a lot of powerful people right here in America that, hey, if you release that, this was going to happen next. That could be a case. People saying Trump might, be on the Epstein list. You heard what Elon said. I seriously doubt that. And I'm going to tell you why. The main reason I doubt that is because Joe Biden and his administration was just in office. They had access to the same information. You seen them throw the book at Donald Trump, trying to get the man locked up left and right through his whole campaign and all that. They hit him with 34 counts through everything out of manufactured cases. If they saw anything nefarious going on between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, you best believe they would have threw him under the bus. They tried to assassinate Donald Trump. Let's be for real. Allegedly. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let's see what MSNBC got to talk about. But before we do that, I got to flash this as always. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right. Now, with that being said, let's get to this content. Because MAGA, man, y'all got to get it together, baby. We came too far, man. We came too far, MAGA. Let's get it.
Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. Donald Trump's administration is facing a full rebellion from the MAGA faithful, the most diehard, the people that spend all day online talking about Donald Trump. Some of the president's most strident supporters are furious at his Department of Justice after concluded there would be no further disclosures of Jeffrey Epstein-related documents, and that, basically, everyone should just drop it and move on. This comes after his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, basically spent months hyping some sort of big reveal from the Department of Justice. Epstein, of course, the disgraced New York financier who died in federal custody back in 2019 while facing child sex trafficking charges related to what prosecutors says was a years-long scheme to abuse young women. A new memo from the DOJ reiterates the department's position that Epstein was not murdered, noting, quote, after a thorough investigation, FBI investigators concluded that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide in his cell. They even released nearly 11 hours of security camera footage from outside Epstein's cell that night of his death. Although that will likely do little to quell the ongoing conspiracies, especially considering the video is missing an entire minute. The DOJ attributes that to a long-standing glitch with the system.
Never sue the other driver after a car accident. There's a better way to get paid a way bigger check without having to go to court.
Despite all the Epstein didn't kill himself memes and the never-ending, increasingly Baroque conspiracies, the MAGA faithful are really mad about this part of the memo. Quoting it here. This systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. There was no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against...
Whoa, 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 whoa. Now, at this point, Pam Bondi, man, Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, Trump administration, y'all said that this man was a pedo, confirmed, all this, but it ain't, y'all don't have no evidence. This is what you're telling me now. See, we got to get an equal smoke, man, because, like, I don't care about this one way or the other, but I understand why a lot of supporters are upset about this. Because now you hopscotching, you dancing around some stuff, you know what I'm saying? And you ain't sticking to the script. Why would you speak before you receive the evidence? Because now you saying y'all don't have nothing. Now I did hear Pam Bondi say they had tapes of child P word. You know what I'm saying? But that'll never see the light of day because you can't reveal that type of material. Understandable. But people are not looking to see child pornography. Oops, you know what I'm saying? Pardon me, child P. People are looking to see that list of these high-ranking politicians, these powerful billionaires, these people that craft our laws so they can be removed from the government. Because if you are involved with something like this, you need to be in jail for doing something to some children on an island with Jeffrey Epstein. But now, and it's also the FBI director, Kash Patel. Yeah, let's talk about it. You in some deep stuff too, because you was running around here talking about, oh, we got this, we got that. See, this is why people don't trust government, right? But see, like I said, I never got off into this. I voted for two reasons. Once again, the economy and the border. All this other stuff, I ain't get my feelings hurt about it because I wasn't invested in it. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like, people may think I'm Trump crazy over here, but I'm crazy because I know he know what to do to fix this economy, and he ain't gonna play about that border, and we gonna have national security. This kind of stuff, yeah, Trump, you bit your nose to spite your face. You spoke before you know what I'm saying? You had it. And people mad, bro. People mad, man. Let's continue.
Against uncharged third parties. Now, that claim that there was no shadowy client list ostensibly containing evidence that Epstein was secretly blackmailing political and financial and Hollywood elites certainly seemed to contradict what Trump's own attorney general said on television back in February.
One of the things that you alluded to, and this is something Donald Trump has talked about, the DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a direct.
Now, she did say, as you just heard, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed. So she hadn't, when she made this statement, she didn't review it yet. Now, I give her that because she did say that. But the whole thing is, y'all was running around with files, and y'all was passing out files. Y'all was taking pictures with them, and man, y'all made a big fuss about this stuff. Like, and then now that was months ago, and now you saying you don't have no evidentiary facts or no list or no other people that was involved. That's weird. That's weird. I'm just saying, now, come on now. We know Jeffrey Epstein, if he was doing that on the island, people flying in, flying out, he didn't do it by himself.
Directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that.
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. She did just say that, right? We just heard her correctly. Now her Department of Justice says no such list exists. But again, this wasn't just Pam Bondi misspeaking or speaking ambiguously, one-off remark. I mean, seriously, 4 months, this has been a drumbeat. She's promised some sort of big revelation from the documents. I mean, do you remember this? Back in February, the White House even held this big event with right-wing influencers sharing a bunch of what turned out to be previously reported in the public domain information. They had repackaged into.
This is what I'm talking about. See, they was, I just said that. They was running around with pictures talking about Epstein Files and all this. Pam Bondi, holla at your boy. What was this about? When y'all was doing all this campaigning, like y'all got all these files, all passing all these files, smiling in front of the White House, taking pictures. Why y'all do all that for before y'all even read the material, man? Y'all giving the Democrats ammunition.
Into a bunch of fancy binders, which they handed out to people. And so when the DOJ comes back basically yesterday and says, you know what, looked at it and turns out nothing to see here. Well, now that same right-wing media ecosystem is absolutely fuming.
The whole thing that this tape shows he didn't kill himself is like a joke. But worse than that, it's a joke that we all get. Like, they're not fooling anybody. So I feel like we're at a dangerous point now.
So now by coming in and being part of the cover-up, the Trump administration has...
Now, mind you, these Trump supporters, Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones right here, they hot.
Become part of it. I mean, it's just you cannot see it any other way. So I just got to the office. I'm gonna go throw up actually, and this only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically gonna puke probably right now. My mouth is watering right now because I have integrity, and I just really need the Trump administration to succeed and to save this country, and they're doing so much good. And then for them to do something like this tears my guts out.
Do you see what you've done, Pam Bondi? You have made Alex Jones cry and possibly puke, which he only does a few times a year because of how much integrity he has. In hindsight, though, I don't think that those people should be very surprised. As we have said before, repeatedly, this has been a consistent theme of our reporting here on this program. If you were a single issue voter in 2024 and hating Jeffrey Epstein and people associated him was your only issue, Donald Trump should not have been the candidate for you. Trump and Epstein were friends. Everyone has seen the photos and the party tape.
Now hold fast, bro. Hold fast. Now you ain't finna do that, bro. Now this party that he's showing now, keep in mind this a liberal media, you know what I'm saying? So they gonna give you half the story. Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein was at the party. These dudes, billionaires, they all hang out, you know, around the time or whatever. But they wasn't friends like that. Like, actually, at this particular party, Trump kicked Jeffrey Epstein and his homies out. So I ain't gonna tell you that part. So after he kicked them out, him and Jeffrey Epstein, as you can see, this was a long time ago. This was like in the 80s. So he wasn't that tight with him. After he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out the party for whatever mischievous behavior that he peaked, they quick little association wasn't that tight no more. But just wanted to add that bit of information. Let's continue.
Tapes at Mar-a-Lago where they seem to leer at women. And we remember when Trump famously told New York Magazine, I've known Jeff for 15 years, terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side.
I want to buy your house. I can pay you cash for your house no matter what condition it's in. If you need to sell your...
Now, you see how they spin a narrative? Now, what I just told you, if I ain't told you, you know what I'm saying? Like, they little association wasn't that tight after he kicked them out the party, whatever. They say Trump was on a flight list and all that. I don't believe he had nothing nefarious going on with this dude because they just tried to throw the book at him and everything else, weaponize the judicial system with him. That's not the reason why these files are not being released. I'm willing to bet my bottom dollar on that. But you know they're going to frame that narrative.
One of the women at the center of the Epstein sex trafficking case, Virginia Giuffre, who recently died by suicide, claimed that she was actually recruited as a minor by Epstein's collaborator, Ghislaine Maxwell, at Mar-a-Lago. And when that collaborator was facing trial for sex trafficking, Donald Trump seemed oddly concerned about her.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, and so a lot of people want to know if she's going to turn in powerful people. And I know you've talked in the past about Prince Andrew, and you've criticized Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well, whatever it is. Her friend or boyfriend, Epstein, was either killed or committed suicide in jail. She's now in jail. Yeah, I wish her well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. Good luck.
Do you remember that? Remember that when Maxwell was being tried for sex trafficking and Donald Trump was asked about her, and his first thing was to be like, I wish her well. Used to know her back in the day in Palm Beach, saw her all the time.
See, y'all giving these liberals, man. Y'all giving them all these different talking points, man. Like, they gonna run with this, dog. They finna run with this, man. Oh, my God. This was a epic fumble. You know what I'm saying? Trump administration, man, y'all gotta take an L for this, dog. So much good going on in the country, man. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and leave that right there, man. They running with them narratives, just because that man that met that lady and they was cool or whatever, or cordial, and politicking and ran in the same circles don't mean that he knew anything or was a part of anything nefarious. Now y'all doing a little bit too much, so I had to just go ahead and give y'all a bit so y'all can see how the liberals are eating this up, man. They gonna eat this up. Me personally, like I said, I wish that Trump would have just stuck to the border, stuck to the economy, stuck to national security, ending wars, you know, things of that nature, creating more jobs, you know, stop letting these other nations abuse us on trade. All that other stuff he doing is great. Now, when it get a little messy when you get to talk about, oh, I'm gonna release the Epstein Files, and people sit up there, yeah, you know, we gonna get the deep state. One thing about it is this: if they don't have the files, or if they do have the files, you will never stop corruption in the government. I'm no fool about that. Even if you catch some up, this a bipartisan government. It probably always will be. You will never fully eradicate the corruption. In politics, and politicians are politics. You know, it's politics. So I don't expect Donald Trump to be perfect. I don't expect him to not have to play politics here and there. I think certain people that's in the MAGA movement, they just expect this dude to just do. He can't do everything, man. You know what I'm saying? He can't do everything. What he's good for, he's good for. And maybe he might spark the next administration to actually expose it. You know? That's just my take on it. It ain't gonna, it definitely ain't gonna stop my support. You know what I'm saying? So let's hear what Megyn Kelly got to say about the situation. To me, this is all entertainment, man. You know, it's entertainment, because the Epstein Files, whether they get released or not, it don't matter to me, bro. I just got to be real with you.
This time yesterday, literally 24 hours ago, we were watching the following out of the White House cabinet meeting where the subject of Jeffrey Epstein came up, and Donald Trump injected himself into the exchange, which was meant to be between the New York Post reporter and Pam Bondi, as follows. SOT 1.
Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for an American or foreign intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape?
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Eating too much salt causes hypertension, right? Nope. What about too much bacon and red meat? Nope. It's actually calcium.
Okay. Trump himself promised full transparency on the Jeffrey Epstein case when he was running for president. This has been a big issue on the right. My friend Dan Bongino was one of the people who made it a big issue. So did Kash Patel, talking about it over and over and over again. It is just not real for Trump to pretend he's shocked this is still an issue. Nothing's been resolved. Nothing's been released. He promised transparency, as did his attorney general. And then they release a memo saying, you're not getting anything. It's over. Just trust us. And that was not real. Trump pretending he's shocked that people are still interested in it. Your take, Mark.
Well, let me first talk about that soundbite and then the bigger issue. So I'm a student of Donald Trump and how he handles public appearances, as are you. And I don't have the world's most sensitive spidey sense, but I got some spidey sense. That he regularly says, I don't like that question, does it all the time, but that was with a purpose. Okay, so I don't think and I don't see how anyone could look at that and not see an attempt by the president to intimidate the press from ever asking again about it. That's how I read it.
Mm-hmm.
What are the arguments against withholding? What are the arguments for transparency? MAGA really wants it. I keep a running list here of all the news organizations on the right and individuals who are demanding transparency still. It's a long list, and it includes many people who are typically automatically supportive of the president. So MAGA wants it, his base wants it. 2, it's the right thing to do for the victims and for public trust. 3, as you said, the president supported this on a regular basis. And 4, they said they were going to do it. So there's a credibility issue. So all those things would argue for disclosure, transparency, release. What's on?
Bingo. Now that man just laid it out right there, man. All 4 of them reasons. Transparency, your base wants it for the victims, and just because you said it. You know what I'm saying? You got to stand on that. So, yeah, man, we get equal smoke over here, man. I love Trump, man, but one thing I could say, man, about MAGA, at least they hold his feet to the fire. You know, and I hate to see that a lot of the people are not supporting because of this. To me, not to say that it's a minute situation, it's just a situation that you got to weigh the good with the bad in politics. I'm not disillusioned. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we let these other people get in there, we don't have a chance. They're going to open this border right back up, and it's going to be 1 million illegal immigrants. You thought it was a lot. You thought it was 20 million. It's going to be 50 million the first day. As soon as they get in office, it's going to be an open border party. You know what I'm saying? Man, y'all need to knock it off, man.
What's on the other side? I pause pregnantly. What's on the other side? What's on the other side is the suspicion that this is intended to protect rich and powerful men. So I think that this could go either way. The news cycle could move on. MAGA often will pick fights with Donald Trump and then move on. They're a resilient group. So this and the press corps, the dominant press corps, the so-called legacy media, they have for years, and they're continuing now, to be remarkably uninterested in what is both an important and interesting story, something the press corps normally covers. Okay, so I think it could go either way. This could disappear, and those who don't want further disclosure could have their way / get away with it, or those demanding justice and disclosure could get their way. I don't know which way it's going to go. But again, I'll go back to the first thing I said. That was a remarkable performance by the president.
It was an obvious attempt to deflect. And
you got to understand, Donald Trump an entertainer too, man. Like, for real. Like, Trump definitely was deflecting. I didn't like it, though. I read all through it. I'm like, man, just tell the people what it is. It is what it is. You've been standing on that. That's been you. Don't back down from it. Don't deflect from it. Like, look, man, I effed up. I should have shut up. I spoke before I could, man. You know, I thought I had it, bro. I'm sorry. And people would have just been like, cool. But you know what I think gonna happen, though? You know what I think gonna happen? I give it a week or two until the next headline come around. And my prediction is people is gonna forget all about this. I mean, what does Jeffrey Epstein Files really affect our daily life about? You know what I'm saying? I don't care about that. I'm just trying to run up a bag and make sure, you know what I'm saying, it's safe around here, as safe as can be. All that other Jeffrey Epstein, man, y'all beat it with all that weirdo stuff.
And to set the messaging, like we're not talking about Epstein anymore, period.
Right.
And I'm the head of MAGA, and that's what I say. But it's too late. That animal has already been created, and it's pretty ferocious. It's not going to be tamed just by one line from the president at a cabinet meeting. He helped create it. He helped inspire it. His top lieutenants helped create it. And we too have been watching the reaction amongst the most, faithful supporters of the president. We put together a budded soundbite. In this, you'll hear names you'll hear from names that you know. The only one who doesn't seem to be demanding more is our friend Ben Shapiro, but you'll hear almost a uniform tone from literally almost everyone else on the right. Take a listen.
Nobody told us prior to this that the Epstein files would be anywhere even on the agenda for that day. And it was really sprung as a surprise to all of us. We get handed these binders, and then before we even have a chance to look into them, we're hauled out actually in front of the cameras that were all there. We don't have the accountability that was spoken of. We don't have the releases that were spoken of. And it's indefensible. It's indefensible that the answers aren't there.
Man, see, that's what I love about MAGA, though. At least because he was one of the ones that got the binders. Like, I know he was looking like, man, what the hell? You gave me these binders, got me taking these goofy ass pictures, and it ain't even nothing there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hey, throw him under the bus. Throw Trump and Pam Bondi under the bus. Other name Cash Patel, dude. Throw them under the bus, bro. Trump too, throw them under the bus. If they effed up, they effed up, bro. And they just need to hold their hell, man. That's it, man. And move on. The more you try to deflect, people gonna see through that. The MAGA people, they ain't like the Democrats, man. And they ain't like the Republicans. There's different type of group of people. You can't finesse them out of no, you know what I'm saying? They gonna see through that. So you just got to keep it a buck.
There when so much was promised.
As someone who voted for the president, campaigned for the president a lot, I'm not attacking the president, but I think even people who are fully on board with, the bulk of the MAGA agenda are like, this is too much, actually.
Yes.
I'm saying that with love, and I hope that they're listening. Because I think this threatens to blow up the whole thing. By the way, when Pam Bondi went on television and said, I have a videotape of kids getting abused, I followed this case closely, and I know a lot of the people involved, as I've told you.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. I didn't know that. Really? Thousands of children got raped?
Yeah.
Who raped them? Where are the rapists? Like, why aren't they in jail? What?
Exactly. Because Jeffrey Epstein didn't do all that by himself if that actually happened, allegedly. So you mean to tell me this one man did this to thousands of little girls by himself? Nah. He just on the island by himself with a whole bunch of little girls running around. Come on, it don't even make sense. I'm starting to even wonder if this whole thing with Jeffrey Epstein is even real at this point. Did he even do this? Where are I see one person that they showed so far. Where are the alleged victims? Where are the parents? Where are these people at? Where are the people that was on? You mean to tell me not one person y'all could present that was on the island that could say, yeah, I saw this go down on this island? Only thing you got is a documentary. I don't like basing like documentary for reference, but not for substantial information. Because I seen them do a documentary on R. Kelly. That was some BS. So we don't even know if this was real. If you ask me, do the list, had the list ever existed? And Donald Trump, this what made me question you, bro. When you was running your campaign, bro, I'm gonna call you When you was running your campaign, and you was out here broadcasting that you was gonna release the Epstein Files, did you not think that the people that was in the office that had access, did you not think that they was gonna, if it was anything incriminating, they was gonna get rid of that documentation? That evidence was gonna be thrown out soon as you said you was running for president. And if you get in office, this what I'm gonna do. You ran your mouth too much, On this situation, you should have been quiet. You a G. G's move in silence. All the goofies running around running their mouth all day. You a G, bro. You know better than that, I'm just saying. Never tell your left what your right doing.
This is the Department of Justice. Yes. That is so crazy. This is honestly one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my entire life. And I just think it's very dangerous to play around with this stuff.
Can't the Department of Justice move to unseal things that were put under seal? Isn't that technically the way that this could potentially be brought to the public? Because I think we need mass disclosure. I think we need more information. At least for my under 30 crowd, I know my demo. They are volcanic over this whole thing. And by the way, the over 60 crowd, they're like, Epstein, whatever, not a big deal.
Yeah. See, us older people, young people that support Trump, they all into it. Like, what's up with this? You know what I'm saying? People in their 20s and 30s, they really want to know. Me, I don't care about this mess, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is stupid. But anyway, yeah, we can stop that right there, man. But it got to be said, man. Trump, you was running your mouth a little bit too much on this Jeffrey Epstein thing before you had it on lock and key. Major fumble of the Trump administration. And as the title says, once again, trouble in paradise, MAGA movement split in two, the Epstein Files. My final thoughts is this. Trump ran one heck of a campaign with one heck of a bunch of campaign promises, man, for the American people. You didn't need this one. You didn't need this. You could have just stuck to the economy, the border, national security, taking men out of women's sports. All that's what you should have kept running on. You know what I'm saying? Bring a guy back in schools. Things of that nature. People, we can relate to things of that nature. But when you run your mouth and it come time, like when that reporter asked, you should have just kept it a beam, like you been doing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I wear my issue on my sleeve, man. I messed up. I spoke before I should have. This ain't no, and if Pam Bondi, she probably just taking orders, and it's probably why he covering for her. Like, that ain't on her. It's all on me. That's my bad. I thought I had it when I didn't. And all this, nobody wouldn't have nothing to say. You would have had some people with something to say, but the majority of people be like, man, that's integrity. But when your ego get involved, Trump, he Trump. So he gonna have a little ego to him. When your ego get involved, you gonna deflect. Let go of my ego. Let go of my ego. I need to do a video about that too, because pride always come before the fall. And as men, we always deal with that, trying to, contain our pride. in certain situations. But for me, I think this is going to be something that disappears pretty soon. I don't see this lingering. People might be mad at him right now, but if this economy does what I think it's going to do before the midterms, Trump ain't going to have nothing to worry about, man. The Democrats are in the tank. And the Republican Party, they all for Trump. The MAGA movement is the ones that's upset about the Epstein Files, a certain portion of them, but I think they'll come around. The border already secure. We got ceasefires across the planet working on more. You know, he done a lot of great things, man. This man sat up here and took a bullet for this nation, bro. I don't care what you say about him. On top of what he already accomplished, he took a bullet, bro. They tried to off that man, and he still stood on business and said, man, he ain't run, he ain't do nothing. I don't care if you black, white, brown, yellow, purple, or green. You got to respect that. The man stood on business for his nation, and he still prevailed. So even with this L, I'm still holding the man down. You know, I respect real ish, you feel me? But yeah, man. Trouble in Paradise, MAGA movement split in two, man. Let's see what happens. It's your boy Jay Taylor, though. Voices for the voiceless. We love y'all. Until next time, we shall see you soon. Peace and blessings.